Problem 3-13. This one's a little different because it asks you just to take a look at some data and maybe arrive at a conclusion. There, Front Beam Lighting Company has the following ratios compared to its industry for 2013. It says explain why the return on equity ratio is so much less favorable than the return on assets ratio compared to the industry. It says no numbers are necessary, but one sentence answer is all that's required. And you might be able to look at that and tell. Okay, some folks can, maybe just by looking at that statement. But for me, I kind of needed to quantify it. And so I just made up some surrogate numbers, kind of. I used their ROA and ROE numbers, but otherwise I made up some numbers. And I think it'll help me get maybe to an answer, because I think ultimately the answer that they want or that we want maybe has to do more with this bottom line. And it doesn't say anything about that in the problem, but I think it has to do with that. So I set up and I made up these numbers. I said, well, let's say Front Beam has total assets of 100 and the industry has an average, right? Total assets of 100. So ROA, they've given us 12% for Front Beam, 5%. So if I have that, then I know my income, right, is 12% times 100 and 5% times 100. So I have my net income, okay. Then I go ahead and my ROE, they give me my ROE as well, okay. And so I think to find the answer, again, it's going to deal with these things down here, total equity and total debt, okay. So what I've done is I've just put in here what formulas are, right? ROA is equal to net income divided by total assets, right? So my ROA is equal to 12 divided by 100, and they give me that though, right? Yep. But what's ROE then is equal to, and they give me ROE, right? But it's net income divided by total equity. So if I want to figure out what my total equity is, can I do that? Well, I know my ROE number, okay, and now I know my net income number, okay. And so if I know those two, then, and I plug them in, and I've done that here, I'll kind of move this up here. So my ROE is 0.16 or 16%, right? It's 0.16 is equal to a net income of 12 divided by total equity. Okay, now you have to do a little bit of algebra. Okay, sorry, I know your teachers told you even in high school that there were going to be times when you actually used algebra, and this was kind of one of those goofy times. So do the math, okay? That will tell you what your total equity is in each case, and that will tell you what your total debt is in each case. Obviously, you'll do different math here, right? This will equal 0.2 is equal to 5, okay, divided by the total equity, okay? And that should allow you then to come to a conclusion. Okay, so do your, do the math like that. That's as far as I'm going to go. That should give you enough information to solve the problem for 13-3.